What's going on, everybody? Got a tutorial for you today, and actually I'm going to have several tutorials, so check out the YouTube page to check all of them out. It's all going to be around the Xbox 360 controller. This one we're going to just go through how to pop this thing open and kind of disassemble it mostly, and that's pretty much it. There is one thing I'll say beforehand. While it looks like the bolts that hold everything together are the same type that you use for disassembling the actual Xbox 360 console, it's not. While it is the exact same thing as a Torx bit, there's a small little divot down in there. It's probably almost impossible to see, but you do have to get the special type. It's kind of called a tamper-proof security bit. Just search on Amazon or eBay. You can find one pretty easily. It's definitely not something you'll find in your local hardware stores or even big hardware stores. So let's get this going here. First we're going to pop this off, the battery cover. And as you can see, there's 6 bolts. We're just going to go ahead and start taking all those out. I believe there are different types of these, different models. But I do believe they disassemble relatively the same. There's not enough differences to where I'd have to make a tutorial for each version. And I've never actually even popped this one open, so there's no telling which version this one even is. So we're just going around here and getting all these out. One left. I'm also going to go through a little bit about reassembling it, because reassembling it is actually twice as hard as taking it apart. And that's typically the case with most things, but this is even worse as far as getting it put back together, just to make sure you have all the buttons in the right place and everything assembled correctly. Okay, so you should be able to see it's kind of loose now. Get it popped open. And then we're going to open our last screw, which is the hidden screw. And this one is kind of, see if I can get a close up here. There's this little barcode here. It's right underneath that barcode. And I believe that also kind of serves as the warranty seal for the controllers. So doing that will break that warranty seal. So let's go ahead and get that last one out now. As you can see, it's starting to come apart on its own now. That's kind of why I loosened it before this one. It makes it a lot easier to pop it right off. Now, as you can see, these the rumble vibration motors are kind of loose in here, so just be careful not to fling it around. One cool thing is, all the buttons except for the triggers and the joysticks are all already here. So if you're just doing a mod like to change the LED colors, you could just leave this like it is and leave it upside down, and you won't really have to do too much else with it. So let's go ahead and kind of mess with this part just a little bit. This is actually not secured anymore, so all you really need to do is kind of work it out. And so you push both the triggers up and pop it out that way. Just make sure to be careful with these motors. And then the main other thing is the little prongs for the batteries. Those you'll have to kind of slide out just like that. And then of course you'll have this little piece, which is just like a little accent piece that comes out separately. And then that's what you got left. Now if you want it, you can disconnect these motors. Just pull them out right here. And that's about it, really. That's all I'm really going to go through with disassembling it. To put it back in, you just gotta kind of reverse your steps. Pop that screw out, get it out of the way. The main thing that you'll want to do is you've got to coordinate everything here, because you've got to be able to get these little prongs, the battery prongs, to slide back in there correctly. Because if they're all out of whack, you won't get the right type of connection. So as you're sliding this in, you kind of line those little battery prongs up so they slide back in, and you also at the same time have to push the triggers in so they'll slide through the holes. Just like this. There you go. And it'll kind of snap in there, and you can tell that that's where it's supposed to sit. And then you'll want to check. The little prongs just to make sure they're in there correctly and they're not all hanging out and stuff like that. And otherwise, all you've really got to do is just line the motors back up on this side, which can be tricky. Just make sure to not flip this over because all your buttons will fall out. Make sure this always stays just like it is. So you'll want to do it like this. You'll want to line the motors up, put them in their slots. Get this worked back in here as well. This little insert piece. And then this way everything can kind of slide back together at once. Just like that. And that's pretty much it here. Appreciate you guys watching this tutorial. Hope it helped out. Like I said, check out my YouTube page. I'm going to be doing several other tutorials and uploading them at the same time. A lot of them are mods. There's going to be a couple little things about repairs and stuff too. So anyways, just like the video and make sure to subscribe. There's a lot of other cool stuff. Until next time, guys.